Oba Femi just shocked the world and the Elimination Chamber will never be the same. What you just witnessed was not supposed to happen. The plan, according to everyone, was clear. Gunther retains. Gunther dominates. Gunther walks into the Elimination Chamber like he owns the entire planet, because for the last year and a half, he basically has. But somebody forgot to tell Oba Femi. Because on this night, a 26-year-old Nigerian-born powerhouse walked into the ring with the reigning world heavyweight champion, and left with something Gunther has not given anyone in a very long time: a loss. Welcome back to Wrestling Stream, where we break it all down, we hold nothing back, and tonight, we are going deep. If you are new here, smash that subscribe button right now because this channel is where the real wrestling conversation happens. And trust me, after what we are covering today, you do not want to miss what comes next. Now, let's set the stage. Gunther, the ring general. The man who turned the Intercontinental Championship into the most prestigious title in professional wrestling before dropping it to move to the main event scene. Since arriving on Raw and inserting himself into the World Heavyweight Championship picture, Gunther has been absolutely suffocating the competition. Clinical, vicious, relentless. This is not just a big guy who hits hard. This is a man who has mastered the psychology of professional wrestling at a level that very few human beings on this planet have ever reached. When Gunther locks eyes with you, you feel it through the screen. So when it was announced that Oba Femi, the former NXT North American champion, the man they have been calling the next generational force, would get a shot at earning a spot in the Elimination Chamber by going through Gunther, most people laughed. Most people said it was too soon. Most people said Oba was being fed to the giant just to make Gunther look dominant heading into the chamber. Most people were wrong. Now before we get into the match itself, and trust me, we are going moment by moment on this one, we need to talk about Oba Femi, because if you are sleeping on this man, today is your wake-up call. Born in Lagos, Nigeria. Standing at 6'4". Build at 295 pounds of pure, sculpted, terrifying muscle. Oba Femi is what happens when God decides to build a professional wrestler from scratch. But here is the thing people miss about Oba. It is not just the physical gifts. Plenty of guys come into WWE looking like Greek gods and never make it past the mid-card. Oba Femi is different because of the hunger. Watch his NXT run back. Watch how quickly he adapted. Watch how he carried himself, that slow, deliberate, ice-cold presence. He does not need to scream to be intimidating. He walks to that ring and the energy in the building shifts. That is a rare quality. That is a main event quality. He had a dominant NXT North American Championship reign, ran through challengers like they were obstacles in a video game, and when the call came to move to the main roster, he did not shrink. He arrived. And now, somehow, against all conventional wisdom, they put him across from Gunther, with an Elimination Chamber spot on the line. Let me ask you something. Drop it in the comments right now. Did you think Oba was going to pull this off? Before the match happened, what were you thinking? Because I want to know how many of you believed, and how many of you doubted. Be honest. Now, the build-up to this match. Let us talk about it. Because the promo work leading into this encounter was fascinating. Gunther, as always, was measured, calculated. He did not disrespect Oba with mockery. Gunther does not do that. What Gunther does is something almost more devastating. He dismissed him. He looked at Oba Femi the way a chess grandmaster looks at someone who just learned how the pieces move. In Gunther's mind, this was not a challenge. This was an obligation. And that arrogance, that certainty, is exactly the kind of thing that plants the seed of an upset. In professional wrestling storytelling, when a character becomes too certain of victory, the universe finds a way to humble them. Meanwhile, Oba Femi said very little. And that was the right call. Because when you are the challenger, when you are the underdog, when the whole world expects you to lose, you do not need words. You need to walk down that aisle and perform. The crowd going into this match was split. Some people buzzing at the possibility, most people settled in expecting a dominant Gunther performance. The atmosphere was electric in that specific way where nobody quite knew what they were about to watch. That is great professional wrestling storytelling before a single lockup happens. Alright, the match. Let us go. Bell rings and immediately, Gunther makes his intention clear. He goes right at Oba, testing him, trying to establish physical superiority early. And for the first few minutes, it works. Gunther's chest chops, those devastating, skin-splitting chops that sound like gunshots start landing. The crowd winces with every single one. And here is what makes this brilliant from a storytelling perspective. Oba takes them. He does not collapse. He does not immediately fire back. He absorbs them. He lets the crowd see that he can take Gunther's best shot and remain standing. That is psychological warfare inside the squared circle. Gunther, slightly unsettled, you can see it in the micro-expression, decides to go to the mat. Headlock. Grinding it in. Trying to wear down that massive frame, control the pace, slow the match to his tempo. Because that is the thing about Gunther. He does not just beat you physically. He makes you fight his match. His pace. His rhythm. His rules. That is what made his Intercontinental Championship defenses so legendary. He dictated everything. For a stretch here, Gunther is in complete control. Working the neck, the shoulder, wearing Oba down like a seasoned predator. The crowd starts to settle into the narrative they expected. Gunther slowly, methodically dismantling the younger man. And just when you think the script is playing out exactly as written, Oba Femi explodes. Not a gradual comeback. Not a slow burn. An explosion. Out of nowhere, Oba reverses position, gets his footing, and launches Gunther across the ring with a throw that makes the whole arena go oh. The ring general, the man who barely flinches for anyone, goes tumbling and has to recalibrate. The crowd is suddenly awake in a different way. That buzzing, uncertain, wait, is this actually happening? Energy starts building through the arena. Oba goes on the offensive, and this is where you see everything he learned in NXT pay dividends. He is not reckless. He is powerful but controlled. He is hitting Gunther with that athletic power game, running him into the corner, using that incredible frame to just ragdoll a man who does not get ragdolled. And the crowd? They start to believe. That is the magic moment in any great match. The moment the collective audience shifts from spectators to participants. People are on their feet. The noise level jumps 2 decibels. Something real is happening here. Gunther tries to reset. Grabs the ropes, creates distance, tries to reassert his calculated game plan, but Oba stays on him. Methodical. Hungry. And if you are watching this right now and feeling the energy through this script, imagine being in that building live. That is the beauty of this moment. Share this video with a wrestling fan who missed it, because we are just getting started and it only gets crazier from here. Now the match enters that incredible third gear where near falls start happening, and each one is more devastating than the last. Gunther catches Oba coming in and hits a picture-perfect dropkick, which by the way never gets less incredible to watch from a 270-pound Austrian man, and follows it with a powerbomb attempt. Oba counters. They are trading big moves now. The match has completely transcended the tune-up energy it walked in with. Gunther hits a German suplex. Bridge. 1, 2. Oba kicks out. The crowd pops. Gunther's expression darkens. He is no longer dismissive. He is locked in. He goes for the sleeper, his signature submission, the hold that has made grown men tap in the middle of championship matches. Locks it in tight. Oba starts to fade. The referee checks the arm. Once, drops. Twice, drops. The third time, Oba keeps it up. The building erupts. That primal, instinctive crowd reaction to a comeback spot. There is nothing like it in live entertainment. Nothing. Oba powers to his feet, Gunther's weight on his back, sleeper still applied, and just rams him backward into the corner. The hold breaks. Both men are breathing heavy. We are in uncharted territory now. Tell me something. Are you getting goosebumps right now? Because I am, and I have watched this match back multiple times. Leave a like on this video if you are feeling this breakdown. It helps the channel more than you know, and it tells us to keep bringing this energy. Here it is. The moment that sent the wrestling world into chaos online. Gunther, now fully locked into the war, goes for the kill shot. The running lariat, that thunderous clothesline that has ended careers and championships. He winds up, charges. Oba ducks. Gunther spins around. Powerbomb from Oba Femi. Planted. The ring shakes. 1, 2. Gunther kicks out at 2 9/10. The crowd is losing their minds. Oba pounds the mat, not in frustration, but in focus. He knows the moment is here. He can feel it. He pulls Gunther up one more time. Goes for his finisher, and this time, it connects clean. Gunther goes down. Cover. 1, 2, 3. The referee calls for the bell, and for a full 3 seconds, the arena does not know how to process what just happened. And then it explodes. That delayed pop, the one that only comes when something truly unexpected has occurred, rolls through the building like a wave. Oba Femi stands in the middle of the ring, arms out wide, breathing hard, soaking it in. And you can see it on his face. He knew. He always knew. Now here is where things get really interesting. Because this result sends ripples through everything. Oba Femi is now headed to the Elimination Chamber. A match known for breaking men physically and mentally. 6 competitors locked inside that unforgiving steel structure, bodies destroyed by steel grates and plexiglass panels, fighting for a championship opportunity. And Oba Femi is arriving hot. Arriving with the momentum of having just beaten the ring general. Arriving as the most dangerous wild card in that entire match. Think about the potential matchups inside that chamber. Think about Oba coming face to face with established main eventers inside those pods. Think about that size and power being unleashed in an enclosed steel structure. The Elimination Chamber just got significantly more unpredictable, and I would argue significantly more exciting. Now, what does this mean for Gunther? Does the ring general simply recalibrate and move forward? Or does this loss create a crack in that icy exterior? Does Gunther become more dangerous now that he has been embarrassed? Does he go on a warpath? Because here is the thing about great heels, and Gunther is one of the best in the business. A motivated, angry Gunther might be the scariest thing in professional wrestling right now. The storytelling possibilities coming out of this moment are genuinely fascinating, and I would love to know your fantasy booking for where both of these men go from here. Drop it in the comments. Best fantasy booking scenario gets pinned at the top. Let us see what this community comes up with. Let me put this into perspective for you. Upsets in WWE, real upsets, where the guy who is not supposed to win actually wins, are rare. Because the business requires you to protect certain people. Gunther is one of those people. His aura of dominance has been cultivated carefully, strategically, over years. For creative to pull the trigger on an Oba Femi victory over Gunther, at this stage of Oba's main roster career, tells you everything about how highly they think of this young man's ceiling. This is the kind of booking decision that can make a career, that can shift a performer from promising prospect to genuine star. Roman Reigns had moments like this on his road to becoming the tribal chief. Sami Zayn had moments like this on his journey to beloved main eventer. Oba Femi just had his moment. And what he does with it from here, how he carries himself, how he performs inside the chamber, how he handles the spotlight, will determine whether this was the beginning of something legendary, or just a memorable chapter. I personally believe it is the beginning. And if you have been rocking with Wrestling Stream for a while, you know we do not hype guys up without reason. We have been talking about Oba Femi as a future world champion for over a year on this channel. This is not a surprise to us. What is a surprise is how soon it is happening, and that is a credit to the man himself. So here is where we land today. Oba Femi goes into the Elimination Chamber as one of the most dangerous, unpredictable forces in that match. Gunther walks away from this with something to prove, and a motivated Gunther is a terrifying thing. But here is the question I want to leave you with. The one that is going to keep me up tonight, and honestly should keep you up too. What if this is just the opening move? What if the real story between Oba Femi and Gunther is not ending here, but is actually just beginning? What if this loss sends Gunther down a path that ends with him challenging Oba for a championship down the road, with the entire dynamic flipped? What if we are watching the foundation of a long-term rivalry that ends at WrestleMania? Because in professional wrestling, in the best professional wrestling storytelling, the biggest moments are not conclusions. They are doors opening into something even bigger. And that door? It just swung wide open. Make sure you are subscribed to Wrestling Stream so you do not miss our full Elimination Chamber preview, our Oba Femi deep dive profile, and our Gunther post-loss analysis, because this story is far from over, and we are going to be here for every single chapter. If this breakdown gave you life today, hit that like button. It takes 2 seconds and it means the world to this channel. Share it with your wrestling crew. Tag somebody in the comments who needs to see this. And tell me, right now, in the comments, is Oba Femi walking out of the Elimination Chamber as the new #1 contender? I will see you in the comments. Wrestling Stream, where the passion never stops.